What's good, everyone? I'm back. Or this may be the first video I post, so if that's the case, then welcome. I literally exist just to give you some of the most stank voicings for some of the more basic songs. And of course, I always want to encourage congregational singing, but for people to feel, but the source of that feeling be right doctrine, huh? Amen. So I come from the gospel world, a little bit more gospel. I was trained up under someone who had a little bit of classical and a little bit of gospel in them. So I don't have the most advanced voicings ever, but that's not the point. The point is to give a little more flavor. So today we'll be in the key of D, and we will be doing Build My Life. I'm going to use numbers a whole lot. I'll name some chords, but you'll be able to see the name of the chords on the screen here. So let's just start with D. D is the 1, so D major would be the 1 chord. E is the 2, so an E minor would be the 2 chord. F sharp is the 3, so a F sharp minor would be the 3 chord. G is the 4, so a G major would be the 4 chord. A is the 5, so a A major would be the 5 chord. B is the 6, so a B minor will be the 6 chord. C sharp is the 7, so either a C sharp diminished or more likely what I'll use in here, A major over a C sharp will be the 7 chord. And then back to the good old one, that is D. And for that's just a move usually that a lot of musicians that I've been around use to establish the key of a song. So you could just do that, but they often either use the 7 in their left hand or the flat 7 up top their left hand, and then they roll up to the 5 with their right hand, and they start with either this one and then they move down to the 6 and the 4 on their right hand, and then the 2 on their right hand and the 4 on their left hand, and then they make it into a major chord again. Okay, but anyway, today we will be looking at Build My Life. We will do it in D. So some of these chords, even the original chords, may be a little ghetto because I'm not looking at the chord charts right now, but I do have a rough idea of what they are, because we do it at the church so often, so I know it's worthy of every song. So the 1 to the 4 we could ever sing, D major to G major, back to D, worthy of all the praise, to G could ever bring. Some people go to the 3 right here, worthy of all, every breath we could ever breathe, G, we live for you, oh we live for you. Let's just go to the chorus to the 4, so holy, there is no, to the 2, no one like you, there is none be. And depending on whose version it is, you either go to the 1 here, there is none beside you, or you go to the 1 over the 5, there is none beside you. Open up then to the 6, my eyes in wonder. So that's the whole chorus. And then the bridge is the 4, I will build my life, to the 5, upon your love, to the 6, it is a, to the 3, firm foundation. And back to the, I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. Perfect. So as always, the guitar, just kind of like the shapes and patterns, it is on this screen. I do not know. So I'm not a guitar player. I can do a couple things, but not really. And so I don't know how ghetto like all of this stuff will look on the screen. So if there's a chord that I voice out really big and it's like we don't even have enough fingers to do that on the guitar, or we don't like know how to use the fingers we have to voice this chord this way, then I apologize. I'm primarily a keyboard player, but I think that the Chordy app, there's the plug. The Chordy app is incredible. I think that they got you covered. So I just haven't stared at the guitar part enough to know. So yeah, let's get into it. So now that we got all that out the way, we are going to look at just some ways that we could potentially voice things and build my life to make it a little more colorful, a little more interesting, without being intrusive to the congregational singing, and without being so much that the musicians can't like fully worship, which hopefully musicians will have enough skill level to do a lot of these things that I'm going to do, because I'm not going to go Corey Henry complicated on anyone. I'm just going to try to just, it won't be a lot of chord movements, but it'll be more of just changing chords and maybe moving more slightly, but nothing too complicated. So let's start with the beginner. So D, worthy of all the praise we could ever, and then just when you go to this 3 chord, so D major over F sharp, when you hit it, here's an idea. Instead of doing this D major chord up top with that there, what you do is with your right hand, just hit A octaves as soon as you hit that F sharp. And so that creates an F sharp minor, the 1 and the 3, the 1 and the minor 3. And with your fingers in the middle, hit C sharp with both of them and move up to D. So it'll be worthy of every song we could ever sing. There you do. Worthy of all the praise. So that's something that only the keyboard player would have to do, and maybe the guitar could follow that melody. There's just something really pretty that if Barry Harris is someone I always reference. He has some incredible, like he does jazz theory, but this is like one of those things where you could move it even up to you could do the E to the D and then move it down to the C sharp back up to the D. So it could be, and Barry Harris teaches this, but worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. So that's just one automatic, just in that like verse, you could just kind of throw that in just for a little bit of beauty. And let me think. Let's see. So this is like, your church would have to be very gospel to use this chord. So it's basically a double diminished. So you take this A and you spell the diminished out below it. So it'll be an E flat diminished. And then you walk from this bottom note, you walk a full step down, and then you spell the diminished out below that. So walk 1.5 steps down, 1.5 steps down. So you could do worthy of every song we could ever sing. And you do worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. That is very extra. So like, only use this if you know that you're in a context where that can be used and it will not be like a big hindrance to everyone's ears. Because like, I know that even in my church now, it would have to be like, the song would already have to have been built for me to be able to pull that off. Like, it's just coming down at the end, and you know, and like maybe we're returning. So, and I will not be shaken. And we just back to the worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. So, yeah, that's also kind of a look, but usually with something like this, you want to play with melodic ideas, but not too much, because it's good for songs like these to breathe. Like no, we're trying to say that you're worthy. We don't want to be worthy of every song we could ever sing. Like that'd just be like too much going on. So I think that's and so another thing that you could do that we actually do at my church sometimes is pedal the 1. So the D, so you just stay there. So this worthy of every we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. So, right here, you could do what we showed earlier, but you could also on We Live For You, you know that you're trying to get back to this G, and you could do We Live For You, oh, we live for you. So you do B minor, so the 6, then to the 7, or an A over a C sharp, an A major over a C sharp, then D major, and then you could do that thing that we did on the F sharp minor earlier, then land on the G. So it could be, worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. I hit that wrong there, but that's one option. And so one thing that will always be an option on the 1 or the 4 is a flatted 7, but you have to, oh, sorry, my chord is hitting this top F note, but you have to be strategic about it. So if that's the voicing that I'm using for, this says D over A, but I'm just the second inversion of a D major chord. If I put that there, it'll say D, but yeah. Okay, so, but instead of using the D as the bass, flat the 7, so go to the 7, there's just C sharp, and make it flat. So the C, so you could, we live for you, oh, we live for you. Then you could, Jesus the name. So like that's a gospel move, but like it's so incredible. And remember, every time I say gospel, I'm talking gospel by genre. I don't know that there's a piano move that is like, oh, like you just hit the chord and they're like, Jesus died in our place and rose from the grave. If there is that chord, please tell me where it is so I could play it. I could just walk into like a place with a bunch of unbelievers and play it. Okay, but anyway, so flat the 7 on your bass and just play a 1 major chord on top of it. So, we live for you. Oh, we live for you. Flat the 7 with the 1 on top, then Jesus, the name above. And you could return to the G after that. Every other name. Or you could return to the G on top of, you can return to the G on your right hand, but with your bass, you can take it to the B, so the 6. So you take it from the flatted 7 to the 6. So it could be, we live for you, oh, we live for you. There you go. Jesus, the name above every other name. And so this is a gospel walk down, a very popular one is you do the flat 7 to the 6, to the flatted 6, to the 5. And so what that would look like with your right hand would be, Jesus, the name above every other name. Then you, Jesus, the only one who could ever save. So you would probably have to ask your singers to kind of slightly change harmonies, but nothing too wild. But so the voicings will be with the flat 7 as your bass, the major 1, so the D major over the C, then the G major over the B. Then this voicing would be a E diminished with the B flat at the bottom. But don't put the C sharp in there. Leave the C sharp out. And one thing that gospel musicians love to do, especially with this chord, is they start it as a G minor. So a G minor first inversion with the B flat as the bass, but they move that D up to the E and turns it into an E diminished. So it would be like, Jesus, the name above every other name. Then you, Jesus, the only one who could ever save. And then this final chord is just a D major over an A. And usually use the second inversion of that, but you can use any inversion that makes your heart happy. As long as they preaching good doctrine in there, all right? Because that'll make your heart healthy. But anyway, so what have we learned so far? Something we could do is worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. And pedal, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. Into the 6, we live for you. Oh, we live for you. Into the flattest 7 with the 1 over. Jesus, the name above every other name. Like that. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. You can start that pattern again, or you go back to the 1. I'm gonna start the pattern. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. And I probably just land on the 1. And we sing holy. So that's all I'll give you for that first verse. And there's so many ways that you could play around with it. But let's get to the chorus. So, holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. I like when we sit on top of that 5, so that's going to be the version I play. Open up my eyes in wonder. So that'll be all we do. So the holy, so that G. So the melody is this A, and I want to remember that because there may be ways that we could play with it. So like instead of going to that, we could say holy. So back to that the F sharp, the D major over F sharp. We could is holy. So yeah, so what I want you to be thinking is you can always play with the melody, like build a chord off of the melody, or build a chord off of the chord structures that they were already doing, or movements off of that. So this is one thing you could do. Holy, there is no one like you. So they did a really good chord on that, the 2. But like the flatted 7 is a good substitution for the 2 as well, as like especially in context like this. So you could do holy, but a major flat 7. There is no one like you. Or you could make it a little more like you. That is C major 9. So make a major 9 out of that flat 7. So we got we live for you. Oh, we live for you. And we sing holy. There is no one like you. There is none beside you. So beside you. So the extra thing could be beside you, but we won't do that. Or beside you. Both of those, at least for me, unless you are in a context that has had gospel music since its inception, I don't think that chord would work. I'm making these videos for people who have not had gospel music since their inception. People who have never played like any type of gospel anything are probably looking at this like, yo, this is so complicated. But the people who play gospel stuff are probably like, yo, bro, you're not showing them enough. And if that's how you feeling, if you fall on either side of the spectrum, then praise God, I'm doing what I wanted to do. So we are holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside. You could do just a 6 beside you, so B minor. But I'm adding, so I'm playing a D major 7 over the B, so that makes it a B minor 9. So be holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside So, so with that, you could literally take it to the one. Open up my eyes. C diminished. So just walking. So literally, this would just be walking the scale down in the basic way that everyone usually learns scales. So D, C diminished, then B minor, A, then back to the and show me. So that could be one way. So holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes and show me. So that could be one way. And so the one thing that, sorry, I was just looking at an email that I got, but another idea could be, holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside you, open up, and you could just go to the regular chord that they had for the beside you part, where you sit the one on top of the 5. Open up my eyes in wonder, and then back to the regular and show me. So that's a couple of ideas. I know that I haven't done much to help you think through kind of like ways to go about this. So just for a second, let's think about that. So the 4 good substitutions for that are either the flat 7 major, the 2 minor. So instead of holy, so there's holy, you could do holy, that holy, flat 7, or holy, I mean, you could do B minor 9 again, holy. So I'm trying to stay as major as I possibly can in all of these that I'm giving you, because I understand that a lot of people like some things will not just kind of register that quickly, but I can get more advanced in later videos. But this is just one that, like, yeah, I want to be able to show you. So there is no one like you, which we show could be flat 7 as well. Like you can it's almost like a diminish, a C sharp diminished over E flat major chord. But these, like this one, also can be distracting. So I'm trying not to, straddle the line too hard. But there's no one like you. So let's just say 2 or flat 7. Then there is none beside you. So beside you, that could make for this here, or beside you, you go to the 4 and make a G major 7. Or beside you is a regular 1, or beside you a 3. And I think that's or beside you, maybe, or beside you. So this would be a perfect chord if on Open Up My Eyes in Wonder, you're going to land on the B minor. So this is a very good, because it's almost like you're doing a major 3, but it's different. So this would be almost, so basically think of this as like a F sharp over a B flat to a B minor. So that could be one. So you go holy, there is no one like you, there is no beside you, open up my eyes in wonder. That is also something. So okay, let's move to the bridge. So I'll just show you one thing that we do at my church, which is not super duper gospelly, but it moves a little more, and it's just really pretty melodically. So So we'll do the. So we'll do the. And so we'll move with the melody. So look here, it'll be love, and I will not be shaken. So the melody was like, the melody walked the same, but you get to the, and I will put my trust in you, then B minor and 7, I, D, will. Look at the screen real good on that one. I'm not gonna name these as much as I was naming stuff before. Na, G major, B, shaken. And so that's just a really cool thing that we like to do. So yeah, I will build my upon your love. It is a firm foundation. Yeah, just like that. I trust in you, and I'll start to play with it once people are singing. And I will not be shaken. So, those are just a few ideas for Build My Life. I would love for you to make requests if you see this, and yeah, that would just, I think that would be super awesome. Until next time, everyone, just wanted to show a few things that I think could potentially make Build My Life just a little bit cooler instrumentally and not too complicated. So yeah, hopefully you use them. Remember, keep that congregation singing. Until next time.